Nervsaw is a recent, that is a new Finnish band that plays kind of a death and roll. Not only that, this album also features kind of a black trash approach. So it's an album of many styles, rock and roll to punk, death metal to, well, black metal, thrash metal, what have you. And this all put into less than 30 minutes. Are you ready? Let's take a look. Nervsaw, with its debut album Peril, has this kind of a comic book type of cover, which actually is quite nice, reminding me of old Conan the Barbarian albums back in the 1980s. So for me it's kind of a flashback thing, and I can really be bitchy about it. On the backside we also have this comic book style continued, because at least for me this chosen font, if you will, also reminds me of this classic comic book style. That is rather nice, because at least it's kind of a creates this rather rare feeling. And here is the CD, which then again is really continuation to the style here. Underneath the CD we have this skeletal image, and on this digipack booklet, not really booklet, but the other side of the cover we have credits information and the band lineup. 3 guys, 2 from Finland. I'm not sure if they are all actually from Finland, but one does have a name that really doesn't suggest Finland. As you can see, no booklet whatsoever, so it's all here, no lyrics included. That's for premium customers. Oh, just kidding. I don't know why lyrics aren't included, but hey, who cares? That's what it is. And here you have the Metal Archive site. As you can see, rather new band in the terms of being albums out and all that stuff. But then again, 10 years in the making. That is EP, couple singles and all that stuff. So I don't know what was going on for the first few years, because nothing really shines here. But then again, it implies that the history is all the way for 2010. As I mentioned, the Peril is little less than 30 minutes, and here you have it. All the tracks are rather short, which I think goes for the favor of this album. Because of mentioning that this is a kind of a hybrid breed, that is, in the terms of genres, I think it actually makes a lot of sense that these tracks are mostly around 2 minutes and so. There are a couple of exceptions to the rule, like this 5-minute track Empty Heart, and basically these 3-minute tracks are a little bit on the verge of if they are actually an exception or not, but mostly operating within 2 minutes, give or take, and that's actually is very good for this kind of music. Now the album starts quite easily with kind of a death and roll thing, and later on evolves it a little bit to include these other genres which I mentioned. Some of the riffs are quite punkish, some of them are rather trashy, but mostly it's about kind of a black death and roll feeling with a little bit blackish feelings. And when I say blackish feelings, I don't so much mean the production or the individual riffs, but rather the vocal style, which is very, very kind of a tight, screamy style. I don't know, for some reason it reminds me of Gwarthon, being, that is, of Bathory, being this very screamy in style. And in my opinion, those vocals are good, but they don't really fit here. Maybe it's just my mind, but I was kind of hoping for a very different approach with the vocals, because, to be honest, this guitar sound especially reminds me of 1990s death metal, especially the Sunlight era from Sweden. So it's definitely this kind of old school death metal sound. But when you just, kind of include these kind of a black metal vocals, it creates this weird feeling like something is not right. Now, they are not bothering me, by the way. I'm just merely stating that it might take a little bit time, a few spins or whatever, to get used to that kind of stuff. I still can't help myself, but I feel that those screamy vocals are not the best option for this kind of music. But that's just a matter of opinion. Now, some of these tracks are weaker than the others, and to me it kind of shows in the ways that how the band is trying to approach different style. Now, of course, diversity is always a plus when you can keep it relatively small amounts, that is, don't go too far doing too much different styles, and you can get it very much being consistent and all. But there are some guitar melodic parts, leady parts, which are sometimes like, this is not working very well. For example, Red Line has, in my opinion, kind of a B-class melodies. I mean, it's not bad, but really they don't basically add anything to this kind of a pizza of sorts. But when the band actually has its right gear, you know, to get this death rolling going on, it actually works quite nicely. And to be honest, it helps a lot that the production is quite sweet. That is, it's sturdy, it's kind of muddy, it's old school, but it's very much fitting the kind of style here. Even with some of the riffs being kind of a Motorhead-like, I think it works rather nice. But to be honest, there are no killer tracks and there are no killer chorus parts, which is something that I think this album is missing. While this is very easy to listen to, I could imagine this being a quite nice soundtrack for your barbecue sessions. Still, something is more like waiting to be happening, you know? You're just all the time you're waiting. Now it's gonna be, the next track is gonna be the killer. Nah, the next one, surely. And then suddenly, some 30 minutes later, you're like, okay, that never happened. So while this is easy to kind of enjoy, it's not really top-notch material. So pretty nice all in all, but still missing a lot of that kind of a quality songwriting, in my opinion, which this album gravely needs. Maybe next album, who knows. Anyway, take a look at the band's Bandcamp site and you will figure out for yourself whether or not this is your cup of tea. Not for everybody, I can guarantee for that, but with this kind of a hybrid, I think it can mostly push all the right buttons, at least for pretty nice an album. See ya and take care.